threw away for very obvious reasons. Recently, I got back in contact with my adult daughter M. After having had nothing to do with her since her birth, she's 25 now, but honestly, I wasn't around from her birth all the way through when her mother died a couple years ago. Now, I know I'm not a perfect person here. I have done some bad things, but in this case, I don't think I was the bad guy. M's mother and I dated for about a year after I graduated high school in 95. When I was just in college, I will be honest, her mother was a rebound girl. Never thought it would be a long-term relationship or anything. We became close and did couple things, but I always made certain to use protection. I didn't want kids at the stage in my life, and thought I would make it clear to M's mother. After coming back from family vacation one summer, I'm surprised to find that her GF apartment is empty. Her apartment is empty, and she dropped off the face of the earth. Poof, gone. Over the past years, I often wondered what happened, but any attempts at searching for M's mother failed. A couple months ago, I got a visitor out of the blue, and after some awkward moments, M introduced herself as my daughter. She wanted to know her dad, but at the same time, Ed felt this hostility there. She was angry at me for not being in her life, and I got the impression this was a I can say I meet the bastard type of thing. She told me how her mother had died a couple years prior, only after finally telling her my full name and to go looking for me. It had taken her that long to finally track me down. She wanted to know everything I had been doing to that point, while I still found it hard to believe. Eventually she asked why I had never been in her life, and I told her two reasons. One, I didn't know you existed, and two, your mom completely vanished on me. She didn't believe this and scoffed, but telling her my own story about what happened seemed to mess up with some things her own mom had told her. This has created a problem. M practically hates her mother for what she did. She accepts that I didn't even know she existed and couldn't find her. So, she can't fault me for that. However, she worshipped her mom. And now, she's finding out that not only did her mom lie to her about the reason I wasn't around, but now she even questions about her own birth. Was it some stunt by her mother to force me to stay around? We talk from time to time, but her mom has gone from being respected to the lying bitch among other things. I genuinely feel bad about this and wonder if I was the asshole for telling the truth and destroying whatever memories M had about her mother. So, am I the asshole? Now the OP has offered the following explanation for why he thinks they might be the asshole. I may be the asshole here for two reasons. One, I probably couldn't have just let her believe that lie her mother had told her about why I wasn't around and let her hate me for everything. Alternately, I might have explained things more tactfully and not simply told her the truth about her mother vanishing on me. So I think, in my opinion, the OP is a mature guy. So he should have taken this thing like first he should listen to what M's mother told M about him. Then at the same time he should tell her that why he wasn't around. So by telling the truth to M, who was brought and raised by her mother the whole time, thinking that her father left her or don't having the reason, I think the OP is the asshole here. I will give him 7 out of 10 asshole points because he is a butthole. Dude, you are mature. Get your shit straight up. Am I the asshole for shaming my mother-in-law in front of the whole family for spreading lies about me? My husband and I don't want kids. He has gotten back to me even before I dated him, and I wanted to be child-free. So we both knew it's never going to happen. She didn't know that my husband has gotten a vasectomy and believes that it's me who is not giving her grandchildren. So she hates me. She hated me. When I got married, she wrote this whole letter about how she can't wait for us to be parents and read it out loud during our reception. She would cry on the phone with my sister-in-law and how I am the worst thing that has ever happened to her. She would make racist Facebook posts targeted at me because I'm Asian and my husband is white. There have been times she would introduce my husband to different women when he's already married to me and would tell him that he deserves better. 3 days ago, I was at a family gathering. I never really attended family gatherings because my mother in law is present there, but it had been a long time since I have met his family. When I was just talking to my husband's aunt, she casually says, I'm sorry that I can't experience motherhood. How does my husband's name feel about it? I asked her what it was she talking about. What it was she talking about. She tells me that my mother-in-law has been going around telling everyone in the family group chat that I am infertile. I honestly lost my mind. I went up to my mom and mother-in-law and asked her about it. She told me that she didn't wanted to tell everyone that my husband is less of a man because he got a vasectomy done and thought it was better to tell everyone I was infertile. I started to scream at her. Everybody in the room kinda started telling me that I shouldn't be ashamed because I'm infertile. They thought I was shifting the blame on my husband when I'm infertile, and I revealed the truth because I was not infertile. I told everyone about how my mother-in-law was spreading lies because she didn't want her son to be less of a man. I told everyone about her introducing my husband to different women because she wanted to replace me and is openly racist towards me. My brother-in-law calmed me down because I was bawling my eyes out and called my husband asking him to come home. My husband came home. His mother was crying and telling him that I ruined her reputation. She tells him how I'm trying to make him hate her. My husband took my side. He told her that it was the last time he would be stepping into the house and he is going to cut ties with her. We left the house. My husband thinks that I did the right thing standing up for myself. I have been getting text messages from his relative about how I broke a mother and son's relationship. My mother-in-law is making posts about me on Facebook. I know I could have handled it better, but am I the asshole? Now the OP has given her explanation. No, first the edit. I would like to clear up two things because I am being asked about it. Number one, when my mother-in-law gave the speech during my reception, that's when my husband told her about his vasectomy. Number two, my husband didn't attend the gathering with me because the next day was my birthday and he was planning a surprise for me. Number three, some people pointed it out that I shouldn't have lashed out at a family gathering, which is absolutely right. I feel bad for it and I know I could have handled it better. Now the OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I think I'm the asshole because I could have controlled my emotions before calling my mother-in-law out. Okay, I'm being called names because I ruined my husband's relationship with his mother. I feel guilty for it and I feel like I should have just left the house and ignored the situation. So in my opinion, I think the OP is not the asshole. So there's only 2 points which I would like to point out. The number one thing is like the mother didn't know that her son has done this vasectomy thing and she was living in a fantasy world like this woman who her son has married is infertile. So number one thing, it's if you don't know the full facts, then why are you spreading lies, even if it's mother-in-law or father-in-law or someone or a relative. The second thing is like, why are you telling this to your relatives? Like you don't tell your relatives like I am infertile or I'm having erectile dysfunction. Like who the fuck does that? But I don't know, man, which society or which place this OP belongs to, but I think it's very it's very immature. Like who the fuck goes to their relatives and tell like this girl is infertile and I'm doing this to I'm doing this to protect my son. Like, what the fuck, man? You have some fucked up logics. I know you're protecting your son's image, but by doing this, in the same time you are ruining a woman's image. Am I the asshole for not returning an engagement ring that my fiance was who passed away had crafted specially for me? Disclaimers. Throw away accordingly, okay? English is not my native language, so excuse some spelling mistakes and wonky grammar. Number 3, long time lurker, first time poster, so pardon if formatting is weird. So my fiance dated, so me and my fiance dated for 5 years. Last December, on our fifth and year anniversary, he proposed to me and I accepted. In my country, engagement rings are not a major thing. Couples show that they are engaged by wearing their future wedding rings on their right hand. Once they are married, they start wearing it on their left hand. Because I always watch men proposing to women with wedding rings on American movies, internet videos, TV shows, and other media, I always had that some idea in my head. Knowing this dream of mine, and since his family doesn't have any heirlooms or family jewels, he had a goldsmith craft a wedding ring specially for me. He knew I don't like fancy and flashy jewels. I'm a very discreet person, so he had a ring made for me that was exactly what I had liked. And I did. I absolutely adore it. Sadly, a couple of months ago my fiance fell ill and passed away. I'm not doing this I'm not going to go into details about it because just writing this out makes me sad, okay? I'm still very much not over it. Skip a few weeks and his sister and his mom. I never really got along with neither the sister nor the mom, but we were friendly towards each other. Called me asking for my engagement ring. They said that since we never got married, our wedding was scheduled for early 2022 and never will. I should give the ring to the real family since it represented a promise that will never be fulfilled. I told them no. Don't get me wrong. If it were a family jewel or family heirloom, I would not hesitate to give it back. But it isn't. He had it made specifically for me, and I will be keeping it because he gave it to me on our 5th year anniversary together. Now they have gone to my parents, who they have talked to like twice in all the 5 years me and my fiance were together. To all their community friends, some of which I shared, telling I'm appropriating of property that doesn't belong to me anymore. My parents are on my sides. Community friends are divided. Some say the ring is rightfully mine. Some say that it was a symbol of a contract that fell through due to sad circumstances, and that I should give it back. That I'm keeping one of their son's property, and that it should stay with his sister to pass along to her future children. I keep saying no, but they had been so insistent that I'm starting second guessing myself. So am I the asshole for not giving the ring to them? Now the OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be the asshole because my fiance's mom and sister say that engagement ring is a symbol of an upcoming wedding contract, and since the contract can no longer be fulfilled, the symbol should be returned to the party who gave the ring. Since the person had passed away, it belongs to that person's next of kin. They say that the ring is just a property that now belongs to them since their wedding can be there will be no wedding since there will be no wedding. I disagree with that statement, but I think that the engagement ring belongs to me since it was crafted to be specifically what I wanted and like. So I think the OP is not the butthole here because the fiance to be husband of this OP, the fiance had made a ring specifically for the one who he loves, and it was given on the 5th anniversary of their dating But I think that he crafted it specifically because he wanted to show that how much he loved, appreciated, and how he much he was affectionate towards her. I think the OP has done the right thing, and I think she's not the asshole over here. I think the family of the fiance who died is the asshole over here. I will give them 6 out of 10 buttholes. Am I the asshole for telling my mum to get life insurance before I will agree to bring a guardian for my sister? I, 27 female, have 2 younger sisters who are 8 and 10. I love them dearly. They are amazing little girls and I would do anything for them. Recently, a friend of my mum died and it caused a whole issue because she was a single mother and there was a huge fight about custody of her daughter. It ended up with her moving away from where she lives now and she's having a really hard time adjusting. It kind of kicked my mum and stepdad into gear about making arrangements if something were to happen to them. My grandparents can't take them. They are too old now and they had never been able to manage. Never be able to manage. They don't speak to my stepdad's family or my mom's sister. So my mom asked me. I told her that I would, but she and her husband both need to get life insurance. I don't make that much. I can't support 2 kids and I work full time. My mom was furious. She just wants to make sure that they are looked after if something awful were to happen. And I get that. But I make under 19,000 euros a year working full time. I'd have to go down to part time, which means I would be on even less. My grandparents would obviously help, but they are both flirting with their 90s and won't be around forever. I don't have a partner. It would just be me. The last thing I want is for my baby sister to go into care. But I can't look after them with no money. Life insurance is an expense that they could probably do without paying, but if they want me to raise my sister, I'm going to need financial help. Obviously, there's very little chance of something happening to them, but there was very little chance of something happening to her friend. It was a total freak accident. They are both not happy with me, and my grandparents are staying out of it. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. My mom just wants to make sure her younger kids are looked after in the very slim chance something were to happen. She just wants me to sign a paper for her own peace of mind. I don't worry that I'm being unreasonably asking for them to shell out for the life insurance for something that probably isn't going to happen. I think the OP is not the asshole because she's doing the right thing. If she's the only working member, or if she is the only working person and she doesn't have a partner, then giving her this responsibility of if responsibility of 2 children, she earns less than 19,000 euros a year full time. That we are talking full time. So I think that she's reasonable. She's just advising and telling her parents to get a financial insurance. I know that insurance in some countries in an expense, like in America the insurance is way too much of an expense. That's why most people don't go for insurance, but this is a liability they have to take to make an asset for these 2 daughters that her mother has. So I will give this OP 3 out of 10 buttholes because she's not the asshole over here. Am I the asshole for telling my mom I am never sharing Father's Day again? My parents divorced when I was 2. My mom remarried when I was 5. My older brother and sister and I split time between both homes equally as little kids. It was tough. Our mom would call them both our dads despite us never calling her husband dad or stepdad. At first, I was going to refer to him as my stepdad, but he was always a domineering dick. Our mom says that who he is and how he expresses himself. But I don't like being treated like I am in the army. That's his background. One time, he and my brother had a huge ass fight because he asked my brother why he left his bed half made, but he did so in this really strong way, like barking orders at someone. And my brother told him he had no right to talk to him like that, and he wasn't going to answer unless he's asked in a better way. My brother got grounded for that because he actually followed through and refused to answer. For me, it was hardest when my half sibling were born and my mother would tell me the reason to say I have two dads is because he was their dad, and while I might not love him the same as mine, we had that shared connection now more than ever. But his personality makes him hard to love honestly. He's intimidating and not someone I ever grew to enjoy having in my life. So when I was 14, 2 years ago, I chose to stay with my dad all the time, and it caused some fights, but never more than now. My mom always insisted on sharing Father's Day between our dad and her husband. She even gave up some of Mother's Day to get it. None of us, me or my siblings, ever wanted it, and neither did our dad. But the judge said, seeing as she was willing to share Mother's Day, he ordered it, at least until it was changed when I went to live with my dad. That year we were fighting, so Father's Day wasn't pushed. But last year it was. And this year, yeah. So I told my mom I'm not splitting it anymore, that I am celebrating with the only father I have, and that's how I will celebrate it going forward. She was so pissed. She told me I was being ungrateful and mean spirited to a man who loves me as his son, and that all three stepkids doing this is a big fuck you to all step parents, and how most kids would be grateful for a man like him. I told her that didn't change things for me. She's even trying to get my dad to send me over in the afternoon. Am I the asshole here? Now, the OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I want to know if I am being the asshole, seeing as though he has been in my life for 11 years and he is the father to my younger half sibling. Also, the fact my brother and sister don't celebrate with him or him at all either make it seem like I'm just following their lead instead of choosing for myself, and that might make me the asshole too. So I think the OP is not the asshole over here, because see these when the parents divorce and they are marrying other the partner they used to love, but they don't love him or her anymore, the kids have to take the most burden. The kids like the parents, they don't they have their other problems like emotional and something and all. The kids have to think about this thoroughly. See, I can't comment on this because I haven't been in this place, but if you have been in this place, so what I'm reading and what I'm feeling for this OP is like that this OP is having a very difficult time. He has to share his Father's Day with two different dads. One is his real dad and one is his stepdad. Now most people will think that the stepdad has done so much thing for this kid and his other half siblings, but the real brother is real brother and his real sister don't celebrate with this their stepdad. I think the asshole over here is the mom. Why is she forcing her own kid to share the Father's Day? Father's Day is something like you are grateful for having a father figure in your life. Some people don't have father figure in their life, so I think the OP should, and seeing the age of the OP, he's only 14, man. He's only 14. He hasn't seen all of the world. He doesn't know shit about how the world works and all. And seeing his parents being divorced at the age of 5. So I guess I will give this OP a 3 out of 10 buttholes because he's not the asshole over here. So guys, I think you like this episode of Am I the Butthole over here? and let me know in the comments below. Like, share and comment, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, Am I the Asshole Stories and all. Do let me know what are your comments on these stories, and until next time.